Hey there, my name's Joe Cornish. I'm the director and writer of Attack the Block.
Lass mich in Ruhe. Lass doch mal. Gib mir auf die Nerven.
Seht euch das an.
Was denn, Mann?
Noch mehr.
Mehr was?
Von den Dingern.
Das sind nur Raketen, oder?
Nein, Raketen fliegen hoch, bevor sie runterkommen. Aber die Dinger kommen nur von oben runter.
Sind die gleichen?
Die gleichen was?
Was ins Auto reingeballert ist.
Ich kling aus. Noch mehr von den kleinen Gremlins.
Es regnet Gollums.
Üble Scheißteile.
Hey, der ist im Park gelandet, Mann, gleich hier.
Flipp aus.
Außerirdische greifen London an. In Attack the Block von Joe Cornish finden die Straßenkids das gar nicht witzig. Und so beschließen sie, ihren Block zu verteidigen, koste es, was es wolle.
Zieht sie raus! Sind nette Jungs, ne?
In the UK, the word block describes a housing block, a public housing block. They are big, monolithic structures where lots of different people live. And for me, the block is a little bit like the spaceship Nostromo, or the Nakatomi Plaza from Die Hard, or the Poseidon from the Poseidon Adventure. It's a big, exciting, cinematic playground.
Es kommt her.
Ich kann seine Augen sehen.
Ich glaube nicht, dass das Augen sind.
Sollten lieber verschwinden.
Schon weg, Alter.
Moment, Scheiße, weg hier!
I wouldn't want to comment on anybody else's movie, but we worked very hard to make our creature different. Our creature is very different from the Super 8 creature, or the Cloverfield creature, or the creatures in Cowboys and Aliens. I think our creatures are not like anything that anyone's seen before, I hope.
Hat er Aliens gesagt? Hat sich so angehört, Mann. Was für Penner, die haben die Hosen voll. Guck mal! Ach du Scheiße, Mann!
My creatures are very vicious. All they want to do is fight or fuck, basically. And, you know, you have to see the film to figure out the logic of why they're doing what they're doing. But they're very bestial, very feral. They're not nice. They don't turn nice at the end. They're animals, and they're brutal and nasty. They're not friendly. They're mainly based on my cat. I had a black cat when I grew up, and I used to be fascinated by the fact that when my cat was backlit, it would look flat, like a two-dimensional shape, and you could only tell what shape it was when it moved. So that was the original idea, and then I had thoughts about rotoscope, which is an old-school animation technique. There's a video game on the SNES called Another World that was out in the late 80s, early 90s maybe, that had a terrific monster in it. The illustration on the side of the Space Invaders cabinet, the illustration of the alien that isn't in the game but's on the side of the machine, that was an inspiration to me. The wolf at the beginning of the film 300, there's a wolf that the boy kills, and that's done almost like a shadow puppet, like a silhouette. So it was lots and lots of different influences. I'm sorry I don't have a punchy answer.
Die Bullen!
The fear of otherness, the fear of difference, people who are different and other. Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. And certainly, you know, when we thought of the aliens, we thought of all the words people sometimes use to describe kids like that. You know, quite negative adjectives like, you know, bestial and feral, and we wanted to turn those words into an actual monster, fight that monster against the humans and show the humanity in the humans, really. So yeah, that was the idea. One of my favorite films is Assault on Precinct 13, the John Carpenter film. And that's a siege movie, it's an exciting action movie, but it also has a little bit of sociological subtext. So we wanted to have a little bit of a message to the movie, or ask a question, or present some sociological ideas. So we do that a little bit, but mainly it's a crazy chase movie with kids with samurai swords on mopeds being chased by aliens.
Get that snitch, get that strut, don't give a fuck, blood, blood, blood.
I wouldn't want to encourage any drug use, it's very dangerous and foolish, but sometimes one or two of the kids do enjoy it. And I was quite interested in the character of Brewis, who is this posh kid who goes to the block to score weed. And I thought it was interesting, the different things that bring those characters together. And I was interested in how Brewis valued the kids. He sort of aspires to be tough like they are, but yet he's kind of hopeless.
Dies ist eines der außergewöhnlichsten Naturschauspiele, die uns begegnen.
Was ist, wenn die Jungs richtig liegen? Was ist, wenn zwischen diesen Mutantentieren und dem Wagen von meinem Vater ein Zusammenhang besteht? Wenn es eine Invasion gibt und die Bullen das rauskriegen, dann... Ich kann nicht wieder erwischt werden.
Wir haben dich erwischt?
Ja, ich habe ein bisschen Gras in meiner Hose vergessen. Und dann habe ich sie in die Waschmaschine gesteckt. Und kein Scheiß, ehrlich. Die Unterwäsche meiner Mutter kam raus und hat nach Gras gestunken. Mein Vater hat's gerochen. Und dann hat er mir sofort den Unterhalt gestrichen. Nächstes Mal wird er mir in die Eier treten.
Ja, das sind harte Zeiten für dich, Mann.
The weed for me was an interesting thing that brought those different characters together. And I always think it's funny when someone's stoned and they have to deal with a far-out situation.
Dazu, auch wenn es eine Alien-Invasion ist, die sind 1,20 groß und blind und wurden glatt von ein paar Kids aus dem Block aufgemischt. Mein Alter, wir sollten ganz cool bleiben. Huh?
I wanted it to be funny, but again, my inspiration there was the film An American Werewolf in London, which is one of my favourite films, and that's a very funny film, but it's also quite truthful and scary. So I wanted Attack the Block to be primarily truthful and real, but then to throw in this fantasy and have the humour as a kind of escape, a release. So it's hopefully funny, but more importantly, scary and real. That was the most important thing. And I didn't want it to spoof or parody any particular films because it's aimed at a young audience. And the films I've mentioned, they are, their dad's films, their parents' films. It's that generation maybe have seen them on TV or DVD, but this is a film that you don't have to know anything about those films. None of the jokes rely on your knowledge of other movies. It stands on its own, hopefully.
Jo, mach was du willst. Scheiß interessiert mich nicht.